Hi, friends. This is Sue, and it's Flip Through Fridays. So I'm just here to show you the latest pages that I've worked on in my journaling, in my junk journal January journal. So, following along with the prompts, Sunday's prompt was peeking out, and I've been watching, going through the movies on my winter movie list. And of course, every year I watch The Shining. That's just a given. So when I thought about peeking out and I was watching the movie, it just happened to be I was watching it that day. And, I just love this image of Jack Nicholson peeking through the bathroom door that he's just hacked away. And, you know, it's so creepy. So, yeah, I just used some wood type of cardstock um, and made a little flip out talking about the movie. And yeah. And then the next day was bookshelf. And I made this wonky envelope. I think it was Natasha Treasure Books that had a video on that some years ago, and they're pretty easy to make. So I just took an atlas page and created that envelope, left it open instead of folding down the top part, and then typed out "Travel the World with a Good Book." And I had this image from a magazine in my stash, so I used that. And then I had some washi tape. And I just talked a little bit about, we had just been a couple days before on Saturday, we went to our local library book sale. And, libraries have so many books. A couple times a year, they have a big book sale. And it's great for picking up books, but the bookcases were close together. There were tons of people. It was, you're shoulder to shoulder with people trying to look at the same books. So we just got out of there, relatively quickly because I don't like crowds like that. Anyway, the next day was texture. And I started by taking some sewing pattern paper and gluing onto the background substrate and just kind of smooshed the paper together to create some texture here. Then I took a piece of braille paper and glued that down on three sides to create a little pocket. And I had a scrap of embossed paper and some handmade paper that I had gotten in Happy Mail. And I took a little cheesecloth and some tulle and glued those on. And then this little bit here was with piano roll paper. So, and then I used some texture paste through a stencil to create a little bit more texture on there. And then I had this in my basket. I've been wanting to use it because it's just so adorable. It has a little poem on there. And it was a postcard that I had picked up. And so I just wrote a little bit on the back of that. And the next day was fabric. So I just created a little fabric ruffle here on the side. And I sewed it and then glued it down. And then I glued this little trim over it. This paper that was here was just a scrapbook paper that was folded up to create a pocket. And, as you can see, it's kind of a wintry scene there. So I chose this image from a children's book and then glued some paper onto the back to make a journaling spot. And put a little more fabric on here, sewed around the edge, and that was that. So then one more page, yesterday's page, was ombre. And I started off just experimenting a little bit. I thought, am I going to paint and make an ombre whole page? But this had scrapbook paper on it, so yeah, I was kind of thinking, I just maybe just paint different, like different gradations of color. But then I was thinking we'd had a lot of rain, and I had this stencil that was kind of like raindrops. So I took out some Ranger ink, distress ink, and just started experimenting a little bit with that, making it darker on top, and then just, swirling less and less as I went down through the stencil. So that's what I wound up doing. And then I had this scrap that I had been experimenting with a different color, and decided to just make a little umbrella out of that. And I used the rest of the scrap for the date. So that's where I am now, and I'll be finishing up the month next week. And so I invite you to stop by again and see the rest of the journal, how it ends up. It's really way too chunky for my taste, but yeah, I think it's because of all these pockets and tuck spots. It adds up all the layers, because I really don't want to expose too much of what I'm writing about, kind of private that way. So, instead of just writing on the sheet of paper, I'm kind of winding up with different thicknesses and tuck spots and all of that. And I guess that's what's bulking it up so much. But it is what it is, so I'll deal with it. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, and please hit the like button if you don't mind. And I'll see you next time.